Hey everyone, welcome. Lunchtime here, and it is actually a public holiday. It's very, very cold and windy, so I hope you're actually having a good day wherever you are. So today's little training is about the law of cause and effect and how that has shaped your life till now and how it can shape your life in the future. So the law of cause and effect states that for every effect, there is a definite cause. And likewise, for every cause, there is a definite effect. So basically, what you put out into the world is what you're going to receive back. Put out negative, receive back negative. Put out positive, receive back positive. So it's quite an interesting law, and one that you really want to sort of think about. The law of cause and effect. What you put out is what you're going to get back. So if you really want to get back a whole heap of goodness in your life, you've got to put out the good. You're going to receive back exactly what you put out. So your thoughts, behaviors, attitudes, actions all create specific effects, and they manifest throughout your life. So think about where you've been in the past couple of years. What sorts of thoughts you've been having? Have you been having really great thoughts about where you're going in your life, or have you been having some negative ones? So your thoughts dictate everything you do, and your thoughts come from your five senses. So your five senses are see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. So everything you're going to see, hear, smell, taste, and touch will influence what you think. And what you think will influence the attitude that you have for that particular moment, or the behavior you're going to have for that particular moment. And then that will actually create how you react or how you respond to a certain situation or something's going on in your life. So when you think about the fact that what you're going to put out makes you want to stop and think about how you're going to react or respond to things that are coming in your life. Also, take note of the thoughts that you're having, because the thoughts that you're having are creating all these emotions within you, and that's actually what you're going to be doing and creating those reactions and responses. So everything comes from within. As I said, our five senses are actually what shape us, but we don't have to think that way. We don't actually have to be influenced by our thoughts with what we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. But that's for another training. So as I said, our thoughts are going to shape what we think. So if you're not receiving in your life the things that you really desire, go back and think about what you're thinking about. Like write down the thoughts for the day, the week, the month, whatever, and look at those thoughts. Then look at how you react to those thoughts. What kind of behaviors are you having? What's your attitude around those thoughts that you're having? Do they serve you, or they're not? Because then how you react and respond is going to create that of what's going to come back to you. So as I said, since you were born, everything has created and shaped your life up until now. But if you really want in the future something completely different, or you want to change the course of your life, you want to have more friends in your life, well, you've got to start being friendly to people. So as I said, the cause of what you're doing is the effect of what you're doing. So create space within your world to sit down and work out what it is you want for your future. Do you want a successful business? Do you want an amazing relationship? Do you want to travel? Do you want the most amazing friends? Do you want kindness? Do you want people to love you? If you want people to love you, love yourself. If you want friends, be really friendly towards people. If you want success in your business, act as if success is already there. So what you're putting out is what you're receiving back. And it's actually very interesting how you can, once you get the concept of this and understand that, you can create any change that you truly desire. And so when I'll tell you a story. My daughter, who's now 28, split up with her boyfriend a couple of years ago. Now, what she was doing was, and I don't think she actually really wanted to split up with him, but it was that she came to the realization that he wasn't moving forward in the space that she was moving forward in. So for, say, the past 2 years of their relationship, she was trying to encourage him to do another uni degree, or because of COVID, she could see that he was just in a stagnant space. So she was encouraging him to do things and he wasn't really wanting to do it. In the end, as I said, she split up with him. But what actually happened was that forced him to then go and look at his life and go and do another uni degree. So he's at uni now. So I had to explain to Jess that that was never going to happen in their relationship. But why it happened was that everything had to sort of fall apart for this guy to actually work out what he wanted and move forward. He was just in this space of just being very casual, very content with where he was at. But then the tower fell, and basically he had to create something within his life. So this is the cause and effect. He wasn't doing anything to move himself forward. He wasn't doing anything to create the change in his relationship. He was just very content with where he was at, but ended up losing everything, which forced him to create that change. So the cause and effect has a huge impact on your life. And moving forward, as I said, if you really, really want some amazing things to happen in your life, look at those things that you want to change and create the abundance in your life that you want by being that version of who you need to be to create that in your life. One of the things that I do on a regular basis, which I get joy out of myself as I do it, every person that I am served by at like a Coles or at a service station or a milk bar, somewhere where I see somebody, I always leave them with an impression of increase, which means I always give them a compliment, or I make sure that I always give them a thank you, have a great day. Because what comes back to me is gratitude. It's happiness. It makes me feel good. Another thing is who you actually give to is not necessarily who you're going to receive from. Now, that's a really important thing to remember with the law of cause and effect. Who you give to is not necessarily who you're going to receive from. So if you're continually giving to a certain person and you don't feel as if you're receiving back from them, or you feel as if they're always taking, that's okay. That's truly okay, because that person possibly doesn't have the ability to give you what you need. But you can guarantee from the law of cause and effect, it will come back to you in other ways and through other people and through other experiences. So know that what you put out, you will get back in return. You won't know when it's going to come back to you, but by law, it will come back to you. And the important thing is to remember that, as I said, whoever you give it to is not necessarily who you're going to receive from. And I think that's just a really important one to remember, because relationships, friendships, business partners, whatever it is, if you're feeling like you're forever giving and not receiving, that's because they can't give back to you what you need, but you will get it back in a certain way or a certain form that will serve you from the energy that you put out. And at the end of the day, it is energy that we're putting out. So if you can look into how you're being on a day-to-day basis, and even if you're having a bad thought or you're having a negative thought, try and think one thought better than what you're having, and then continue that thought throughout the day to having one better than what you're having. Because when you're having those thoughts of abundance and you're really vibing on a high vibe and you're loving where you're at, you're being overly excited, everything's just really joyful, you are going to attract so much into your life. And what you attract into your life is going to be exactly what you want from the thoughts and the vibes that you're in. All right, this is just a really short one today. It is a public holiday. I hope you're having a great one. I know there's a couple of people on here. Sorry, I can't tell who they are, but anyway, have a great one, and we will chat again next week. Take care.